Today, I have a very special guest that I'm thrilled to have with me, and it's Colleen Wainwright of The Communicatrix. And Colleen writes, she blogs, she has a very devoted following that loves her. And what I love most about you, besides your humor and your phenomenal writing, is that you've raised a lot of money in 2011 for a great cause for girls. I want to talk to you about that today. Just tell us how did that come about? Just a little bit more about what you did as part of that.
So it came together from a lot of different threads. I was turning 50, and that's kind of a big deal. I mean, those round number birthdays are kind of a big deal. And there's like 50 was like a big deal, not because I was necessarily scared about it the way I had been about previous big zero birthdays, because it's half a century. I don't know, like half of $100. Like $100 is a lot of money, and 100 is a lot of years, and 50 is half of that, and you can't get around it anymore. So I wanted to mark it in some way. And by the time you are turning 50, you have done everything for your big birthday. Just like you've done it all. You got big presents, you've done everything. So I was casting about for something to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do to market. And honestly, and someone I had been very close to and had kind of fallen out with, an ex-boyfriend, said to me, "You are the most selfish person." Selfish. And at first I got very angry that I got hurt, and then I just said, that's like kind of true. I'm pretty selfish, and a lot of it's being self-oriented, and I've done as much as I can to minimize the pain that I would inflict on anyone else. But then there's this other part of like you've been given a lot of stuff in life, a lot of advantages and benefits and gifts and friendship and overall health. So what are you giving back? And I thought, all right. And so I started to try some things here and there, like I had in previous times. But I was like, no, this is going to be big. If I'm going to do this, I'm just going to do this big. And I thought the one thing I didn't have like a lot of super rich friends. I met a couple. I know a small but devoted, group of people who are my friends and my readers and stuff like that, and fellow travelers on the internet. I'll bet if I just get at the front of this crazy train, we can pull it up this hill. We can do this. We could raise a bunch of money for something. And if I could take everything I knew about marketing and performing and the internet and make it a spectacle and get people excited about doing it. So that's kind of how it started to come together. There are probably a lot of people too young to know this reference, but there was that whole, Judy Garland, Mickey Rooney, let's put on a show, my father, Barr, and I don't know if the costumes thing. Yeah. It was like, okay, or Stone Soup, that's a little bit more, that's more of a perennial thing. So the amazing thing was, as I started to, I wrote it down, like on a piece of paper, I'm going to do this, and as soon as I really committed to it and said it out loud and wrote it down, and talked to Karen Taylor, the director of Right Girls On, I would do this, and she's like, okay, whatever, crazy lady. Things just started to come together. Like, I'll build you a website, my friend Gabriel said, and, I'll help you with it. Everyone just stepped up. It was extraordinary. So I was in the front doing it, the front, front of the train. Up front, gonna shave her head, she raises all the money, and then everybody else just was like, hey, this is a parade. Like, let's look at the parade, because it was a fun parade and a fun thing to be a part of. So that was really what I did, was more like kind of decide that we were going to all do a crazy parade, and it was going to benefit these girls. And it did. I mean, that was what was exciting, is that we were able to do it. And the goal was to raise $50,000, right? In the 50 days. So I would shake my head if I raised this entire $50,000. And then we ended up hitting that goal 10 days ahead of schedule. It was crazy.
That's amazing.
We were all on a Saturday night, like all on Facebook and Twitter together, like, oh my God, 10 days early, we did it, and then it just kept going.
Yeah.
We raised an additional $11,517.
Wow.
And then a few more, a little bit more came in here and there, but that's the official tally through Indiegogo, which is where it raised the money.
Right.
It's a crowdfunding site. And then we raised an additional $50,000 in the form of a matching grant. We raised $111,517.
That's a story into itself.
I know.
That's huge. So Indiegogo?
Yeah, it's called Indiegogo. The two big ones when I was looking at all my options for crowdfunding, because there's a number of sources now you can use to raise funds for various causes, including just email and Facebook. Indiegogo and Kickstarter were the main ones, and Kickstarter was like, I say more it's to raise seed money for something that is going to just require a minimum threshold commitment to make. So like if you have a prototype or an idea for building some kind of an object, to create a book that's going to require, it's very detailed and high production costs, you need a certain amount of money to make the run, right? To make it worthwhile.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or if you have, the guys who made the TikTok, or whatever it was called, it was a wristband that you could pop an iPod Nano into and use it as a watch in addition to your Nano. It's super cool. So things like that, like cool fetishy type items, small, like you're not a huge corporation trying to build widgets, but you're a person or a small business with an idea for something. You have to raise it. So that's a great way to raise capital for that. Because if you don't raise the entire amount of money, you don't raise any money.
Right.
In the case of Indiegogo, it's a little bit different because you get to keep whatever you raise.
Thank you so much.